Reba here. Welcome back to Gooseberry Homestead. So right here, you guys, is just a little sneak peek of some things that I'm doing inside of my home this winter. So it's actually still fall, not quite winter yet. And so on the windowsill right here in front of me are some cuttings in these 3 pots right here of fig trees. And these ones came from my niece who lives in California. And I don't know the exact variety of fig tree that she has in her yard, but yeah, so these are from my niece, and I think she sent me about 35 cuttings. I'll probably only keep maybe a small handful of them, and the rest of them I'll probably be offering for sale as an unknown variety. I will try to get people to help me figure out what, the possible name is. So once they get all rooted and that sort of thing, and they are successfully up potted into the next size pot, and we definitely have a tree that's, living and surviving, then I'll probably be putting some of them up on Figbid. Say that 12 times fast. And then I'll just list them as an unknown, and then contact them once we figure out, exactly what variety they possibly are. And I don't know if it's common variety or what it is, but she lives near, I'm wanting to say, Chico area, so it's very possible that this tree came from the Chico area where they were doing all their growing. The tree that she has is been in that vicinity where she lives even when I was a young child, so it's at least 50 to 60 years old. I grew up in that same area. I never paid attention to the fig tree when I was younger, but my sister says that it was there when I was a baby. So this fig tree's been there for a very long time, and they just cut it down, and then it comes back from the roots every year, really super strong. So I don't think it's been about 5 or 6 years since the last time they've really cut it back a lot. So it looks like a little fig island right now. But so these are the cuttings, and I do have some branches that are coming on here, and we've got the leafing out, which is really exciting. And then down here at the very end, I've got some citruses that I've grown from seed. And then I have some other cuttings that I've either mostly gotten for free, and there's a couple really inexpensive cuttings that I've purchased. But for the most part, the majority of these are all free cuttings that I've traded with and gotten from other sellers. So I've got some varieties that are rooting. I'm doing a method over here on this side in some water, so you can kind of see what I'm doing there. And then down at the end, I've got some in the little cups. And I'm possibly going to move away from using the cups with the dirt in it, and maybe try something so that I don't have so much fungus gnats. But we'll just see. I saw somebody post a picture, and they're using little sticky, yellow sticky things, and I'll see if I can find some of those at the local hardware store so I can put those up to catch gnats. But anyways, let's go outside. All right, so we're out here, and as you can see, the garden's pretty much died down. I do need to come through, and I need to clean up where I did have some plants over along the fence line, get that all cleaned up and get things moved out of the areas, and that way everything's nice and cleaned up for the winter. And it is a little bit cool out here. I can see my breath, but to me it doesn't feel that cold. But a lot of the plants have gone dormant or are going dormant, and so I'm primarily focusing on plants that I can root from taking cuttings and that sort of thing. I did have a whole bunch of herbs and that sort of thing that I gave away this past summer. In fact, when some people would make purchases from me, half the time I was giving away a whole bunch of plants, and they would be like, oh my gosh, thank you. And to me, it's just a way to give back. And so while a lot of my videos in the past, I'll say, I'm going to try to sell this, of course, because every little bit helps, my family and that sort of thing. But primarily, I really like blessing other people. So, and I do have dreams and I do have goals just like everybody. And so spoke about that a little bit today with some family members, and so who knows? You never know what the Lord has in store. But for the most part, the garden's looking pretty much done for the winter, you guys. I do need to clean things up. Like I said, the grass isn't growing as much, but I want to see if we get some days where we're not getting as much rain, because we are in the rainy season, and that's why the lawn looks so lush and green right now. And I do want to come through, and I do want to cut the grass one more time if I possibly can. And that way it'll pretty much stay short the rest of the winter, and it won't be growing too much longer. And it's kind of pretty much stopped almost, but I do want to get that taken care of. But yeah, I'm looking forward to gardening next year, you guys. You guys are going to want to stay tuned, because I am going to have so many fig cuttings that I'm going to be rooting. Some varieties are some that are very sought after varieties that people are like paying high top dollar for, and they might be hyped up. I was able to get my cuttings relatively cheap, and some of them for free. And so I'm looking forward to being able to grow some of these varieties on a budget, which is absolutely amazing to me. And the more people that are getting them, the more affordable they will become for other people. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of ways you can bless people by giving away cuttings, and also blessing yourself by being able to sell some of them if you can. So I primarily do most of my sales locally, and I don't necessarily do a ton of internet sales. One, it just saves me on having to ship a whole bunch of stuff, and then figuring out all the rules and stuff. But in the future, I will be getting a nursery license. My family is planning on opening our own nursery. We're thinking about going with the gooseberry in the name of our nursery, and we're really kind of figuring out where we want to establish this business based on nurseries around us, and what we can offer as an exclusiveness to the shop and a nursery that we would be opening up. We want to really provide a different kind of environment. So we've got some plans in the works. I don't want to give all of those plans away, but this is my family's end goal now, is to have a nursery of our own, and to be able to give back to the community in any kind of way that we can. And so my husband and I have been talking. We've got some really great plans. And so now it's all about drawing up those business plans, figuring out how everything works. So I need to get plugged in with like Master Gardener classes. I need to get plugged in with the community, and really just get in there and get hands-on and start getting more information on certain things. Definitely I'm going to be looking into the licensing and getting a nursery license and that sort of thing. So I definitely want to do things right, and I want to do them right the first time. I don't want to be doing a whole lot of backtracking. So my husband and I will be putting in our due diligence in figuring everything out. And so yeah, so that's kind of like something I'm really passionate about, very excited about. I find that I am at my most optimal health when I'm in the garden, when I have my hands in the dirt, when I am just with nature. And I know in my heart this is exactly what the Lord wants us to do. And so with that in mind, I'm just really excited for the future. Now, what am I going to be doing this next year? Well, you'll probably be seeing, hopefully, more videos just looking at the plants as they grow, how they mature. I will share, I don't do a whole lot of how-to videos anymore. I was trying to do more informational videos there for a while, and if I go back and I look at my videos, I kind of sound like a robot when I'm talking and trying to be all professional and all that. While it's great to be professional, I want to feel relaxed when I'm doing the videos. I don't want to feel like things are too scripted, and I want to be myself. And I want to keep it real, because that's how I've been doing the majority of my channel, and I want to just keep it like that. So if you like to hear people talk and you want to come along and listen to me yap, you're more than welcome. I don't take kindly to mean people or rude people or people who make mean comments. So I won't do how-to videos anymore because people are just mean and I don't have time for that. So, anyways, yeah, so this is pretty much how the garden's looking. Very, very bare, but oh my gosh, even though it's bare, you guys, it is just beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful. Look at the bark's still a little bit red, but it's starting to turn a little bit more brown. You can see the buds on the ends where it'll be putting on new leaves in the spring. So you guys, I'm just super, super excited. I was really shocked with this one right here. This is my sharp blueberry, and it doesn't lose its leaves like these other varieties have done so much on these blueberries. But I did get another it looks like it's trying to make blueberries again this season. So it's still trying to blossom out. So I wonder how that's going to affect the spring blossoms. So it's never done this before. But yeah, we've got little blueberries on here. Whether they come to fruition, I don't know. So we'll just watch them and see what happens. But that one's pretty much how that's looking. I got thunderclouds in this. I did do some trades for some figs, and I did get myself a black Madeira fig tree and I traded some of my elderberries cuttings for that, and these ones are rooted. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to the new venture. This next spring I will be having so many fig cuttings, you guys. It's gonna be quite the amazing adventure. I'm going to start them indoors. The method I'm going for is soaking them for a few days in water, either bringing life back to the cuttings in that way so they rehydrate, and then I will once I see root initials, like little white dots on the bark, then I put them into soil very gently so I don't damage those root initials, and then they will begin developing their roots. And I still have a few windowsills that I can use in the house, south facing, which is really great, and I will be utilizing those. However, I am going to also need to put some in under lights and that sort of thing. Now, I don't have heat mats yet, but I'm okay with the roots slowly developing. So if I come across and get myself a heat mat, I will try to do that for sure. And I might end up putting them into a tub and putting a light over the top and that sort of thing. So that will definitely work. I do have some areas in my house that will work, and I'm not opposed to getting rid of items in my home in order to make room for this venue. And so I am just so excited. You guys are going to want to come along for this new adventure with my fig growing. I will probably be making fig videos of the progress of the plants, as you saw on the windowsill at the very beginning of the video. I have some that are already started. I am definitely not going to be able to keep all 35 of those figs. I may end up only keeping 5 of those figs that my niece sent me, one of which will probably end up going to her and maybe to some other family members. But the rest of them I will most likely either give away and or possibly sell. And that also depends on whether or not they make it to the gallon size pots when I pot up. So, and again, I may or may not list them on Fig Bid. I keep trying to butcher that. And so if I sell them on Fig Bid, I would want them to be more established and then do like a bare root sell. So it's cheaper to ship and that sort of thing. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. But I'm definitely not going to keep all of those figs. And the majority of the figs that I'm getting, I'm not going to want to have more than one of each variety. So I definitely foresee myself getting rid of and or giving away or selling or what have you a lot. And I know that there's a lot of people in our community locally that could really benefit from a gift like this. So I'm just really wanting to do what the Lord wants me to do. And so I really want to bless people, but I also want to bless my family. And so that comes in the form of small cells. So anyways, you guys, just be looking forward to all the new videos I'm going to be having with my garden, my elderberries, my gooseberries. I am just so ecstatic and so excited for this next year, and the growing season I hope will go really well. I am definitely going to be protecting these plants and trees because I have a feeling it's going to be kind of a harsh winter. So far we've been fairly warm here on the Pacific Northwest side, but I have a feeling it's going to cool down here pretty soon. So I do have some of my trees already moved up under the house because I don't want the tips to die off too much on them, but they've already gone dormant. They've already lost all their leaves. I'm going to be moving my peach frost and my nectarine up under the house. So yeah, and I'm debating whether or not to keep the Ivan's Beauty Mountain Ash. I absolutely love it. I kind of feel like I need to keep it only because for the sake that I've had it and I rescued it from Rain Tree for like $5. So, and I tend to do that a lot. I rescue discards from nurseries and I nurse them back to health. But there are a few plants I will be parting with in the spring. I believe I'm going to be parting with this one right here, which is the Russian olive tree. I think I'm going to go ahead and part with that. I may just offer that one for free online to anybody who wants it because I just don't want to deal with it. And I'm going to be focusing in on those figs, and I'm going to be focusing on elderberries and blueberries, strawberries, you know, the berries basically. And then the figs, and then I have like one of each, like apple variety over here. I've got not one of each, that would be ridiculous. I'm not an apple collector, but I did get the Honey Crisp and the Cosmic Crisp, and so like I'm not collecting all fruits, you guys, all fruit trees. I do like fruit trees. I would probably wager to say I like apricots better than say pears. So I do have 2 apricot trees, and then these are our little experiment apple trees in this bin right here that I grew from seed, and I'm not planning to do too much more other than that. And then I do have my chestnut trees over here on the table, and they are looking kind of they're kind of getting ready for winter. They're getting ready to drop the rest of their leaves. I did have to make new leaders for them, you guys, and that sort of thing. I am planning on starting more starts of the chestnut trees, at which point I might list those for sale next spring. I might even sell a couple of these bigger ones on the Fig Bid, because they have another area in Fig Bid where you can list things. And then this was my little white what do you call it, currant that I picked up at one of the nurseries for like let me see, it was 30% off of $18.99. So like I'm used to like purchasing things almost full price, so I'm not opposed to, you know, purchasing from other nurseries and helping our community like in that respect. But yeah, and then the hula berries are looking amazing right here. So I've got berries trying to form here, so that's pretty cool. And I got a lot of little trailers, which I need to pot up into the pot and get those all set into the dirt before it gets too crazy cold. But anyways, you guys, I got some fig trees in the shed here, in the shed, in my lavender greenhouse. And I didn't pick it because it was mostly looking purple, because it looks really, really purple or pink. I didn't do it because I'm a girl, and I was like, that's interesting, I'm gonna try that color. You know, whatevs. But anyways, you guys, that's how everything's looking. I do have a few things in here, some gooseberry cuttings, and some of my little fig trees. Let's show you those real quick. So we'll come down here, try not to get too wet, and we'll take a look at everything. A lot of stuff has died back. My bronze fennel is looking really great here. I do want to get that into a little bigger pot. I've had that for 3 years now, and it just comes back every year from the roots. I've got a quince in here that I rescued from Grain Tree. It was in their bucket, I think maybe again, like a $5 tree. I have the free rain tree, fig tree right here, and it's finally, leaves are turning yellow, getting ready to drop them. We got the lignification finally happened up in this area. Really happy about that. I will be taking some cuttings from my Latarua. I have somebody that I'm sending some free cuttings to. I have to take some cuttings from the Ronde de Bordeaux. We did get some figs on this, but they did not ripen, but yes, they looked like Ronde de Bordeaux. And, or no, not Ronde. They, Violet de Bordeaux, sorry. But this one right here is my Ronde de Bordeaux that I got. And somebody gave this to me for free, and I am super stoked. It's so tall. It's, you know, I need to mark down who I got it from. I am creating a inventory of where I am collecting my fig trees from, and a database, and I will be keeping records, and I will be noting in my region whether they are an early variety in our region and how the fruit do, whether they make it to fruition, how many crops they have, what have you, based on my growing region. So I will be doing a lot of documentation on the fig trees, and you guys get to come along for the journey. And eventually I will get almost every variety of gooseberry that I could possibly get as well. And I'll have like a parent tree I always call my gooseberries trees, and I don't know why, but I will get as many parent cuttings. I'll have one bush that becomes the parent, and then I will take cuttings from those particular bushes to create more plants, which will eventually be plants that I sell in the nursery that we will one day own. And so for the most part, I'm really not wanting to do a whole lot of online sales, and I want to offer mainly things that grow well in my own community. And who knows, you never know where the Lord's going to take you. So with that in mind, just gonna end the video now. I've got a lot of ideas and plans and things like that, so I'm just super excited, you guys. Just wanted to talk with you a little bit today, let you know how everything's doing in the garden, and for the most part, everything's gone to sleep. My avocados tree still has some. Avocados generally don't do well in this region, but as you can tell, the leaves are curling up at the top. The bottom leaves look okay, but you know, everything's doing its thing. So anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. Click the bell button. As always, have a wonderful day, you guys, and God bless. Bye.